guys, how's it going? Alright, we're doing a video on carrying petrol on your motorbike. Now most of you guys have already figured out and got your own bloody setup and worked out what best suits you. I know with all the different bloody bikes that I've bloody got and used and all that kind of stuff, there's always something different or different setup, so you need something different and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you don't have a big bloody, you know, now this is a 36 litre bloody safari tank, even then there's been the occasion where we've had to put the extra bloody fuel on, even having a tank that big. So I just wanted to run through just some of the stuff that we've done and ideas and bits and pieces. Also, I always wondered, you know, what happens if you get bloody stuck somewhere? You've figured out everything and you're going somewhere and you know that you've got service station here, there and that, and you're going to be sweet. What happens if you have a detour or you have a big headwind or you're just stuffed up, which I've done before, and you're not going to bloody make it? Or there's you're travelling at night time and you know the servo's going to be closed by the time you get there and you're going to be stuck there. What can you do to get yourself out of trouble there and then with limited bloody options to do? And I always wondered, you know, I've heard the stories of you can put bloody petrol into a condom and it'll be fine to carry it in that, but I never knew whether that was possible or whatever. I'm not going to figure that one out, but anyway. So I've just got drink bottles, bloody, you know, these plastic bloody drink bottles with petrol in it. And I filled them up ages ago, and I've got dates on them, and we'll run through that, just to see if it's possible, how long it'll last, if it's sitting in the sun, the pressure that builds up and all that kind of stuff, is it going to hold it and shit like that. So we're going to run through that. As I was setting up, you can see there's a kettle there. I just thought I'll let you guys know. These bloody gas cartridge or gas cartridge, butane gas cartridge Duvalakis, really cheap, simple, handy, great stuff. But every time I come back, I've always got something left over. When I go on a new trip, I always leave the half empty or the quarter empty or whatever it is. I leave it and I just bloody whack it in there and I grab a fresh one. Because, I mean, bloody hell, you get 4 of them for $4.95 or something like that. It's just so cheap, so why would you worry? As you can see, these have been bloody sitting here for quite a while. You've got a bit of rust on there. So I started building up and building up, and I think, what the bloody hell am I going to do with these things? So what I've done is I've just got my bloody picnic gas burner, which was that was the first gas burner that I used on a motorcycle. We carried that along the Nullarbor with Craig. We both had one of these, and we had it bloody stuck in there. It's crazy how things change. So what I'm doing is now, whenever I want a cup of coffee, I boil it on here. So I'm using that gas instead of using the gas in the house. There's most probably not much of a thing, but I'm just getting rid of the bloody things. Alright, now, we're going to go into here where all my bloody bits and pieces are. I've got to grab these two. They're the Redder cans. Don't ask me where you can buy them and all that kind of stuff, because as far as I know you can't. For years people have been asking me the question. Can't find them here in Australia. That's it, end of story. But I've got them, I use them for the boulevard, so this is going to be in this video. Alright, let's go. Before we get onto the stuff on the bikes, just so I'm going to do this little plastic bloody drink bottle, just one of those cheap ones that you get from the supermarket. You can see how it's shrunken in because it's been sitting in the cold. But this was done on the 13th of the 4th, 2015. So that's bloody nearly six months that's been in there. I've got this other one here. I'm not. I get so sidetracked. I want to stick this in the sun so that when I'm finished doing the bikes, we can see how this gets blown up and that it actually holds the bloody pressure. Alright, so I'm just going to stick this right there in the sun and we shall come back to it. Alright guys, so as I said, I've got the Redder gas cans. I most probably bought the last two that was in Australia a couple of years ago. Can't seem to get them, so don't ask me. Alright, so there's jerry cans of all different types. You've got your 10 litre bloody jerry can. 5 litre jerry can. Even a 20 litre jerry can, which I haven't used on a motorbike. I have seen them. I know Stuart, he's had one of these strapped to his KTM bloody 1190? 990, no, KTM 990. I think he called it Geraldine, his redhead. We've got the liquid containment fuel bladder. That's, I think it's 12 litres. Might have seen them in other videos. And then the same deal, but this is only a 3.5 litre one of those. This actually fits into the liquid containment backpack that I had and I used on the French line, the Simpson Desert thing with the DR650. Sorry. This actually goes in that backpack along with the water as well. So we'll most probably have a bit of a chat about, you know, carrying petrol on your person, the downfalls and all that kind of stuff. Whether it's a good thing, a bad thing. Everybody has their own opinions. What works for me may not work for another person, or what I like, someone else mightn't like. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now what I'm going to do, so that was it, I think. Yeah. Now I'll just show you how we've used them on the bikes and lots of different things. Hopefully this doesn't bore you. And then we'll get into that those plastic bottles and stuff. Actually guys, there is one other option that's worth most probably mentioning, and that's the Roto Pack. Roto, R-O-T-O-P-A-Q, I think it is, Roto Pack. They're those ones that they're very thin, and they're shaped like that. That seems stupid. They're thin, and they have a little mounting system that goes to the side of your bike, or you can have it so that it's on. You can have petrol ones, and then you can have your water ones, and they all interlink, and it's a pretty good bloody system. I haven't got it, I just haven't gone that way, but that's another option as well. Alright, let's get out there. Alright guys, so the Postie bike's pretty bloody simple. The 4.5 litre tank that that is just your standard stuff. I know you can get bloody the XR, Honda XR, or whatever they are, tanks, but I just run the standard tank, and then I carry the extra. This tank gets me about 100 Ks before to empty. So 5 litres is going to most probably get me about 110, 120 Ks. So basically sit it in there, strap it down, and away you go. Same with that, 10 litre, so that's going to give me 240 Ks most probably. Plus that gives me 340 Ks. That's heaps for a bloody Postie. Pretty bloody simple, no bullshit. Alright, we'll go and do Nay's bike next. Alright, so we've got Nay's bloody Intruder, and it's the same deal. Grab a 5 litre one, chuck her on there, strap it there, or a 10 litre one, get it in there, strap there. The problem with that is that, you know, Nay's got this nice little bloody bike, and she's got her bags. I'll put the other bag on. So, nice bloody bag. So that's on there. Do the same thing, whack that on there, and it's kind of like, oh, it's a little bit bloody crappy. And she's got all her nice bags and bits and pieces. She's now actually got a tank bag as well, but I won't worry about that. So this is what we came up with. Nay actually went out and she found this little bloody jerry can, and that's actually a 4 litre one. You really struggle to find the smaller stuff, so that was a bloody bonus, but same deal again. Still it's got that red and looks a bit crappy. Well, I had this just a camera bag, just one of those foam lined ones. It happens to fit that in there, bloody beautiful. It doesn't zip up, but that doesn't matter. Lock it on there like that, whack it there, get yourself a gotcha strap. Whack that through there. Hunker it, I'll actually move that up a bit. pull that down, and that is not going anywhere. And then you've got that nice look. All right, what's next? We'll do Harry the Boulevard. All right, so with Harry, I've got a multitude of different things that I do. Obviously, if Nay's on here, my bag sits off the back. If Nay's not on here and I'm doing a really big trip and taking lots of stuff, my big bag goes on here, and then another bag on the back. I have a plate that mounts on there to make it all nice and stable. But normally the fuel is the same. Great thing with the Redder cans, if you haven't seen that bloody video, I'm not going to go right into it, but I suppose the biggest thing is the shape of it. If you have slant bags, so this just goes in and then pushes up, so it's only actually coming to there. The other good thing about it is that it doesn't vent, so you don't get, if you've got other stuff in there like clothes or bits and pieces, it's not going to smell. But there is an asterisk to that. If you pull this out, use it, pour it in, and then put it all back together, plug it in there, there's going to be residue. You're always going to spill a little bit. You can try your best not to, but you're gonna. Well, I am anyway. So then, that smell, and it doesn't matter how much you wipe it off, try not to, it's going to be on there and it's going to go through all your bags. So I normally, if I do have to have something else in there, I'll make sure that whatever else is in there is in its own bag and all covered up. So that works really, really well. It's great. But like when I did the Great Australian Ride, the stupid thing I did, I put a 5 litre in there as well. Obviously I took that off, but that goes in there. Hey presto, and that's on both sides. Or, you know, hey, chuck it on the back. Whatever you want. Cool, alright, now we'll go over to Max and we'll do those, the fuel bladders. Alright guys, so, fuel bladders. I'll start off with that bloody little one. I suppose this is designed more so for your MX or, not MX or motocross blokes, where they've got their bloody little 250 or whatever they ride. They carry a couple of bloody tools, they put this in their bloody backpack with their water, nothing on the bike, and they get into those trails and they go, bloody hell for leather. That works really good. I would, without a doubt, believe that this thing, if they come off the bike, and that's the problem, is you come off the bike, you hit the ground, the petrol that's in your backpack busts open and it goes everywhere. On you is liable to bloody, burn, go up in flames, or just bloody soak in your skin and bloody give you rashes, and it's just not a really good idea. But with that said, I would be happy to use one of these, purely from using that and knowing how many times bloody Max went down out in that bloody desert, and how that thing just blew up in the sun, and the pressure that was obviously under that, the cap didn't bloody fart, nothing. It just worked really good. So yeah, it boils down to a personal bloody, personal preference. Some people say never put bloody petrol on yourself. Some people go, well, I do it and I try and be careful or whatever. That's personal choice. So this one has worked out really good. Now the obvious thing is that when you're not, like when we did that Simpson, this was basically just stuck on top of the bags there, like that, until we got to Mount Dare, where we did the big fuel up for us to get right across to Birdsville. And then once we got to Birdsville, this was just wrapped up like that. Well, actually, it was halfway across. The first camp, we'd actually emptied these into the tanks, rolled them up, and they were rolled up for the rest of the trip. We didn't need it, so they don't take that much. Like when you look at the difference in bloody in size, that's the benefit of a fuel bladder. Like I said, no, I have no problems at all with the thoughts of these busting or anything like that. These are bloody, I don't know, cool, military spec or bloody whatever, but yeah. Sweet Georgia Brown. And, you put it on top of your bags or on the side like that, or wherever you can stick it. You just make sure that you've got plenty of points for hunkering it down so it's not wobbling and stuff like that. One thing I'd say is put that in a bag, don't let it just sit somewhere, because you'll get all dust and stuff in that, and then obviously when you pour it into your tank you're pouring dust in. But yeah, so there you go. Alright, so now getting on to you're stuck, or you're going to be stuck, or if you don't bloody do something, whatever, you need to put petrol somewhere, and you don't have a jerry can, or you can't get a jerry can, or whatever reason, can you bloody use, look in a bin and find an old drink bottle. Well, this is one of these, so just one of those things from like Anaconda or bloody BCF or whatever. So it's a drink bottle. And it's the cheap one, it's not a Nageline or whatever they call it. So that there is what happens when you put petrol. So these were identical, and you can see the difference. I've written over this so that nobody bloody gets a mistake. Did I put a date on that one? Oh, I don't have a date. This has to be well over, most probably a year and a half that petrol is been sitting in that. And it hasn't leaked, nothing. It's perfect. So yes, you can do that. I've had petrol just sitting in here. This is just sheer old petrol, and that's where I put it. Obviously this is going to work because it was designed for kerosene, so not a problem. Now we'll go out, we'll go have a look and see if that other little plastic bottle is doing something. Okay, so I actually put it on its side, and I'll put this black thing underneath it just to try and heat it up more. So anyway, we'll grab that. Alright guys, so this bottle, 13th of the 4th, 2015, and it's the 13th, Friday the 13th of the 11th. So this has been in here for ages. Now, this is those cheap little plastic bloody water bottles that you get from the supermarket. They're real, flimsy type stuff. But this has been, it's been sitting outside. This hasn't got as puffed out as what it would normally. I haven't had it in the sun long enough, but it's been sitting out there in the sun, it's been sitting out there in the shade, it's been in here. This thing's been all over the bloody joint. I just keep moving it around. So as you saw before, it was shrunk in, so it's been going in and out, in and out, in and out all the time, and it just has not given way. So I've proved to myself that you can bloody put petrol. And obviously you're not going to do it for an extended period of time. It's just to get yourself out of trouble. So you have no problems with putting petrol in something like this. It's illegal to do it, but if you need to do it, bloody do it to get yourself out of trouble. Crazy. That's a real trick actually, because what happens if you've got what do you get rid of? Do you get rid of your petrol, or do you get rid of your water? Because that's the two main things that that is very important. Water over anything else, food, whatever. You need water, that's it, end of story. And petrol, you need petrol, because if you don't have petrol you can't get to safety or to the next town or whatever. So do you empty out your water to be able to put petrol in to then be able to get yourself further? But what happens if you break down for some reason, then you're stuck out there for an extended period of time? You can't drink petrol. That's a dilemma, that one. So that's a personal choice, and that's case by case, I suppose. You just got to figure out your best options and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm just going to ramble on like normal, so I won't. Alright guys, I think that's about it. I wanted to get this one done because I mentioned this ages ago that I was going to do this, and I'm going to do one on the water as well. And I've got to stop bloody saying, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, because then people expect it and then I never get round to doing it or whatever. So anyway. Alright guys, keep on riding. Well, there you go, guys. That's bloody crazy. That second lot of petrol, that's most probably a year and a half old. And I didn't know what it would do, because, you know, they say petrol goes bloody stale. But maybe it'll burn like that, no worries. But if you chuck it in your bike, it, it won't bloody go. I don't know. And I'm not chucking it in my bike. Cool.